This episode is brought to you by Broadhead Decals. From door wraps and roof signs, window stickers and banners, let Broadhead Decals take care of all your vinyl needs with only quality products used.
Justin's graphic design abilities will get you everything you could ever want. With super fast shipping, their turnaround time is second to none. So let Broadhead Decals take you to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast, doing something a little different this time.
A little bit of live, a little bit of interactive stuff. This episode will actually be launched Thursday morning, so for anybody that's not paying attention on Facebook, you can actually go Thursday morning at 5 a.m. when this drops and listen to the interaction that we've got.
Do we want to fire this off with some questions?
We can do that. If you guys got any questions, just chime in. Please keep it respectful to the point. We don't want to be kicked off Facebook for indecency.
Yeah, it happens enough with me anyway.
I'm just surprised you're not in Facebook jail right now.
Well, give it the rest of the day.
They're getting a glare off your head, Derek.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, man. Is that better?
Is that better, fellas? That's probably Jeremy Baker, because he's usually one bitching about what's the shine off my head.
It was Austin Schaefer.
Oh, just wait.
We have somebody asking, where do we get merchandise?
Well, if you're wanting some of this stuff, just hit us up on Facebook. We can hook you up with that. We do have a little memorabilia store. I think the link's on our page, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it's Printify Hard Nosed Derby Podcast.
And
after the live, we'll share it again. So it's
and if you can't find what you want on there, holler at us because we can get about anything.
Yep. These
This is the Stanley Cup you need to be talking about right here.
That's right. 40 ounce. As you see, this is our normal green and gray, but we had a couple people that were asking about changing pink. I'm just going to say it. The Ray boys love pink. So Tyler got a hold of me and asked if we could change the color to it. So I got a hold of said Justin Broadhead, and 5 minutes later we had another print sent over. So you can do the green and gray, or you can do the pink and black. The 4-in-1s, I know everybody who has these, they absolutely love them. They hold bottles, skinny cans, regular cans, and then there's an actual lid, which is on this one. That lid will actually make it your mixed drink cup or anything like that.
Coffee cup.
Coffee. Shut up with the coffee.
okay. We have a couple questions in. Clayton Ransom, what Utah shows besides State Fair in Vancouver?
Well, we're still working on that. Wasatch has come up several times. We've definitely been talking about doing that.
And that's the last weekend of July.
Right.
I believe 27th, 8th,
Yeah.
one of those dates.
And then you talked about Halloween Havoc
Yeah.
after last year.
I wanted to go to Dixie really bad. Earlier in the year, it's really hard for him to do.
That he don't want to take me to Vegas. I don't know what the deal is.
But I'd love to go to Hurricane, Utah, to Dixie to watch that team show. It's just not going to be in the cards. I started looking at flights, and usually a flight for Vegas is decently cheap. It's about $1,000 for two of us to fly, not counting some hotels and all that stuff. And that earlier in the year, we don't have any extra cash saved up yet where we can actually go. So that weekend, we're actually going to be going to Spring X in Champaign, Urbana, catching up with we've got several buddies that will be over there running. So we're going to try to stay pretty close to home decently early because 2 weeks before that, we're actually in Kearney, Nebraska.
Starting the right year off right.
All right. Next question is from Bo Bartz. He wants to know if you're doing the demo derby in May at Palmyra.
I knew that was going to come up. I actually haven't put it out there. I was going to make a post this week. I think we're going to knock that in the head for this year. Probably wait till next year.
He specifically said at Palmyra.
That's absolutely not happening.
That's way the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm way out on that.
Avery Hunolt says, me and Trey Hewer are still looking for the sponsorship come spring.
What's this you and Trey shit? Have you ever been told about
Neither
Avery
one
and Trey running together?
They've never hollered at me and been like, hey, Steven, we need a sponsorship.
Avery messaged me the other day, but there was nothing about them running in any sort of a team setting.
Every time he messages me, he's looking for ammo. So
He's got enough fucking ammo. Without a doubt. He's got enough ammo.
evidently not. He just needs more.
All right. Will Steinbeck, what's the cost, if any, to get you guys to come to a show, or what would need to be done to help draw you guys to a particular show? And is there a PayPal or Venmo where people can send donations to help build your podcast?
Let's start at the beginning of that.
First question. Yeah, first part of that question.
We don't charge shit to come anywhere.
No.
We're trying not to do that just because any promoter that wants us somewhere, I don't want them to have another cost on their back.
Correct. The only thing that we ever is usually even talked about is maybe just hooking us up with a hotel.
Yeah.
I mean,
whether it be a discount or buy some room.
Correct.
Whatever. And if we have to fly in somewhere, it's really cool if somebody can hook us up with a vehicle.
Yep.
Because the whole rental situation is usually a pain in the ass.
Way pain in the ass.
Because they never can get, they want to give us a fucking Chevy Aveo.
Our heads don't even fit in a Chevy Aveo. But we pay for all if we're flying and we can make it work monetarily wise, we pay for our flights. Will, I'm guessing he's probably talking in Nebraska. I mean, that's driving distance. We'll pay for all of our fuel and everything like that as long as we can get into the show. And if there's any sort of a kickback on hotel wise, just where we're not out everything to come.
Because we usually try to set up and we enjoy this shit. Like, we're not doing this to get rich.
No.
This is not
a rich man's plan.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Get with us. I mean, if we will post it, like PayPal or Venmo or Cash App or any of that stuff, we can actually just reach out to us. We can get that info sent over. I don't really want to throw all that up online because we don't want to make it sound like we're begging, because we're not. We're still putting food in our bellies, roofs over our heads, stuff like that. So we enjoy it.
And at the point where we start having to charge and shit to go to these places, I feel like it turns into a job, and if it's a job, I don't want to do one of those. Fuck that. I mean, when I went to Border Wars,
we just set up, had some, we had a few shirts, some 4-in-1, some neoprene koozies, stuff like that, so we actually sold enough cups that weekend where we broke even for fuel and hotels and stuff like that. So as long as we can just not lose our ass.
Yeah, man, we're like a fat girl at prom.
I'm just excited to fucking be there.
Man.
All right. Micah White says he's a long-time listener and first-time commenter. And he wants to know if Steven can plow his driveway with your pink shirt and grizzly beard.
The only thing that I offer on the plowing job is wives.
I knew that shit was coming. Smart ass comment, smart ass answer.
And I really don't charge for that most of the time.
Freebies?
Freebies.
IOUs?
Yeah.
Sweet.
They don't last very long.
Got to finish quick.
Steven will bring hot dogs. What domination shows are you all coming to this year?
Domination Motorsports, are we talking all domination, or are we talking just the Southern number 9 stuff?
It was from Austin Lindsay, if that helps any.
Okay, so that'll be the Southern number 9 stuff. I'm for sure will be at Pleasant Hill. Work pending on this one.
Yeah.
I plan on being at Griggsville at least, the first one. We've actually conversed on Griggsville Thursday show for the bus derby.
Right. I'm still debating. I'd really like to put Cy in one of them fucking.
And he knows it.
Greg Neal says the wives pay you to leave.
Kind of.
I'm okay with that too.
I mean, that's why our relationships work.
Well, yeah, but I feel like I'm not losing either way there. So either way, I got to plow a wife, or I got paid to leave. So,
Cody Meyer says, "Would you guys consider watching me put Clayton Fernandez on his lid in 2024? If so, which show would you like to see it at?"
100% we would watch that, and my answer for which show would be everyone. Because then we can get him back on the podcast and hear how he almost died at the hands of Cody Meyer. I felt like that's a reasonable answer.
That is. I mean, he almost died like 9 times last year.
Yeah, I mean, you heard it here first.
Alan Brown wants to know how to get more cinnamon rolls.
Bro,
Come plow Derek's driveway.
the boss lady who is actually sitting behind the camera right now, we just don't think she hasn't been jonesing about making any. But as soon as she does, and the roads get way clear, we'll make a trip over on the weekend and just bring some over to you and just hang out and bullshit and maybe have a beer or something like that. So
I was actually going to make some this weekend, and I was told I better fucking not.
well, I told you that because I've got to get back to being a good boy and get my blood sugar and shit where it needs to be, and her making these unbelievable pans of Cinnabon cinnamon rolls are just not good for my house.
Nathaniel Robbins says, "In a 2-man extreme with you two, who gets the pedals?"
we have mixed conversations about this because he says, "Fuck you, I'm running the pedals and you're steering," and I'd say I'm.
All bullshit aside, I guarantee it would come down to whoever's motor it was.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
I don't have no problem steering.
Well, he's not going to want me to blow his shit up.
And he ain't going to want me to blow his shit up.
Well, I really don't give a fuck. So,
there is a request to get Justin Broadhead on our podcast.
good luck. We've tried.
We've tried several times.
And if you can pin the big bastard down, then
so be it. It's on you.
Yeah, you've done something better than I did.
It's on you. But yes, no bullshit. We have tried to get Justin on multiple times, and he told me he doesn't know what to do with his hands. I mean, that's,
He said he's a doer, not a talker.
He just wakes up and pisses excellence.
He does when it comes to these. Like, look at this shit right here. Right there. Right there.
And there's a bigger one. That will be broke out this year. It'll probably be probably Border Wars. It'll be broke out. Which is first weekend of June, last day of May, is when the new one will be broke out.
Any local derbies or all out of state?
You want to do this one or you want me to answer it?
Go ahead.
Fuck locals.
I mean,
I'm fucking with you.
We'll be a few of them. I'm going to try to run a little bit of local shit this year. So we'll be there, probably be drinking more beer on that side of things. Not really there to do a lot of the coverage of it.
I've been hit up for the last couple weeks. Some promoters are looking for announcers. I've pretty much told everybody that I've worked with in the past on the promotional side that I was not going to be doing any more announcing. I don't want to be able to set my schedule to announce a local derby when I need to be in, whether it's Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Ohio, Utah, Arkansas, Oklahoma.
Wherever.
Now, him running, if he wants to run, I'm gonna get there and probably partake in some beverages and we're gonna watch the shows. Lucky Sevens are really enjoyable shows to go watch.
And we've been talking about running a little bit of that shit.
Yep.
It'll depend on what cars are around and what we're doing. A lot of that it's going to depend on what our schedule ends up working out to be this summer.
I've already my vacations are already spoken for. So it's roughly going to be probably 10 or 12 days of no pay throughout the year to try to make all this stuff work. And his schedule just sucks.
I should have just stayed at road work.
There's several questions about the team show. Where's the team show information for May? Is Mother's Day still a thing?
All right, Harry, you know what? Let's just go ahead and clear this up. That's going to be knocked in the head. I was going to make a post this week. In light of all the other team shows that are joined in around it, all the other team shows that have come out of the woodworks, the 13 different promoters that we have in Missouri, the fact that, and this probably pissed a few people off, whatever, the fact that nobody wanted to reach out to anybody else and talk about rules and getting on the same page with rules. I don't roll like that. Everybody that's run for me knows I don't roll like that. I'm not going to put a show on with our rules set and you not have anywhere to run that car after it's over. So I'm going to do some soul searching this summer. We may try to do it again next year. If we do it again next year, I will have everything out by the end of the year. It'll be our rules, and if everybody else wants to jump on board with our variation of what rules we put out, they can. If not, we may have to have more than 2 shows next year.
Yuck.
It is what it is.
Casey Johnson wants to know if you have any walking pancakes.
I do not have any walking pancakes with me. I might have a walking hot dog.
What happened to your fancy gold mics?
We upgraded.
We did upgrade. We've been trying to actually upgrade for like 3 months. UPS actually lost our shipment 3 times. Out for delivery, and we still hadn't seen them in a week. So we canceled all the orders, and the wife and I just took off to St. Louis last weekend. Went straight to Guitar Center and got some new stuff. We actually have the big extended boom mics, but we didn't figure that this would be a great place to break those out until we're not live, regular, studio setting.
Several comments make Palmyra Derby great again. I personally don't really have a say in the whole Derby thing, but I would like to say that's never going to happen. Palmyra sucks.
She learns fast.
Oh, fuck.
Austin Schaefer says, where did the idea of the podcast come from and how did it get started?
Well, I've got to give Dakota a little credit on that.
Mm-hmm. Dakota Dameron.
Yep, Dakota Dameron. We were all sitting around talking about it. His idea was to cover local shows here. Basically just kind of what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I took the idea and ran with it. I talked to Derek and was like, hey, you want to be a part of this shit? And he was like, well, why a podcast? Well, I was like, well, so we can get our information out there, 1. 2, nobody around here does it. And 3, he likes to talk.
I usually get paid to talk. That's the only problem.
It actually started right outside this room, around the pool table.
Yep.
The rest is pretty much history, man. We started doing just covering the local stuff and seeing that everybody that was listening really wasn't here. Like they weren't from our area. So we said, fuck it. We go to big shows anyway. Might as well talk about it.
Yep. And we've been doing this this will be episode 86 of just us.
Yes.
We did have 10 episodes with Dakota before he left all sorts of derby promoting and podcasting, and he was, he had some family stuff that he needed to take care of, and he wanted to start running again. So, he stepped away to do his thing, and we talked, and let's roll with it. Let's just make it as big as we can possibly make it. I'm not saying that we're ever going to be as big maybe as we want it to be, that crash course level.
Right.
Something we have talked about.
The cool thing about me is I always have low expectations, so anytime we exceed that, I'm happy.
He doesn't set any goals, so therefore he can never be ashamed of not making that goal.
My New Year's resolution was to never make a New Year's resolution, and I'm killing it so far.
I mean, I guess my New Year's resolution, I took 4 inches off my beard last night. I mean, we all know I don't have any hair, but that was my resolution. I would just kind of get rid of some old and start fresh. So
there's kind of a follow-up to that question. How long have each of you been involved in derbies?
Man, these are the questions we usually ask people.
Correct.
I've been around derby stuff since the early 90s. That's whenever my uncle and all of them started running. They got out of it, got into tractor pulling. We would all go to these county fairs for these tractor pulls and stuff. And a lot of times, the derby was before or after the tractor pull. Well, I would always go and I'd pull the tractor, whatever we did. But I wanted to go back the next night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got that pipeline job and started running around with Josh Gordon in Salisbury, and he got me back into it.
You're going to claim that shit?
You got to give credit where credit's due. But that's what got me started back in it in 13, I guess. Actually building cars again, running, all that shit. I've run once or twice a year since then.
No, I'm kind of complete opposite. I mean, he kind of grew up in it. My dad was not really... But I would say, he was a piston head and he can mechanic, but he'd rather go fishing or, big lifted four-wheel drive pickup, something like that. Well, about the age of 19, I started really wanting to be around motorsports. One of my best friends in the world, Mr. David Holder, started racing with him. Was hanging out with Brian Powell and Richie Johnson, and
you're gonna claim that shit?
I am. D.L. Peterson and them guys. So, and of course, Shelbina was always the awesome Shelbina. Back then, which we have talked. The OGs of the Morgans and the Schaefers and the Shelbyville Mayhaffies, and I was always around that.
Those were the dudes that you were looking at, and holy fuck, they're innovating this sport before the sport needed innovated.
Correct.
They were putting turbo 400s behind small block Mopars before that was a fucking thing.
Yep. So, on the racing side, the more I was racing and crew chiefing and everything, it was just, they kind of came hand in hand. So, I don't know, we just went with it, I guess.
Now we're here.
And now we're here.
Casey Johnson says that he's heard several rumors about a hard-nosed derby podcast team running in Hurricane Utah and Dixie Destruction. Is there any truth to that? And the follow-up to that is Michael White says, I've heard the same thing, but I hear that Steven Adams dude is too scared.
There is 100% going to be a hard-nosed derby podcast team at that show.
Mm-hmm.
Casey reached out to us for sponsorship. We are on board. We've been in contact with Broadhead about it already.
Justin, I believe, told me the other day that he was, as soon as all the downloads on his new computer and stuff got rolling, he was going to start working on their roof, all their wraps and signs and stuff. So, yes.
So we might get to see a new color scheme come out because I told them I didn't give a shit what they did as long as it said hard nose on it.
Yep.
So maybe hard nose and penises. I don't know.
And I do know Casey asked if he can still leave the Batman on his, and I said yes.
Of course
you leave whatever you
the
need to leave.
The bearded Batman, he wouldn't be in the car without that.
That is right. Just as long as you make sure you fill your fucking power steering reservoir up that week, please.
At least
Casey.
try it before you change it. And there has to be a pancake on the outside. Door wraps.
See, that's those parts that I miss.
Or at least in your pocket.
Yes.
I only got hearsay. I didn't get to see the proof of the, walking pancake.
I was hungover as shit.
No.
And Lish had a pancake that was left over on the table. And I told her to just roll the fucking thing up, put it in her pocket. We have a walking pancake.
What's the first show you plan on driving at? So I know there will be another soft car there.
Ouch. Who the fuck said that?
Will White.
Oh, Will Wyatt. The way it's looking right now is I've got a couple friends that are wanting to run the Bone Stock show at Madison. I've got a car ready for that, real close. So that will probably be where my shit ends up first, unless we end up in Kearney.
Well, I'm going to be in Kearney, but I just don't know if you're dragging a car or not.
That's to be determined.
Dale Colbert said to Justin, "Why aren't you on their podcast? I've had several conversations with you and you have a sexy voice." Justin says, "Calm down. I will probably do one maybe in the future."
Okay. So it just took a little Dale pimping to get that
There we go.
to
We'll
get
take
that solidified. So, Justin, we will for sure be reaching out to you to get on. Just a little bit of your time, especially since all this new equipment that you have bought as well. I mean, he's gotten new computers, new cutters. He actually changed his vinyl to make it more, even better quality than what he had before. So that's why we have talked. A lot of these guys are saying, man, just we'll take anything for a sponsor, and we have said we don't want to do that. We want to take
No, if we're
only
gonna do
quality
it-
shit.
Yeah, well, and if we're going to do that, I want to make sure that we're making it worth their while to even have the fucking sponsorship.
Correct.
Whenever Schaefer made that badass hit, I'd never been so glad to have been drunk and opened my mouth.
Because that was a deal. That's what a
100%.
lot
It
of
was sitting right here.
some people don't realize that was just a bet, kind of a you won't do it type of shit. And
I said, you run a big show, and I'll get by your roof sign and door wraps.
yep, 218,000 views later.
Thanks, Schaefer. It was definitely worth it to me for you to break all your shit.
Break everything.
Will Steinbeck says, "If there was a red Camaro without a driver in Colorado this summer, would Steven put his big girl panties on and run a compact?"
I knew that was coming. I didn't know it was coming.
Hold on, but that's not a normal compact.
Oh, but it's still
That's not a W body. That's not a Camry.
Man, I've almost talked too much shit
That
to
has
get in it.
that has no T tops. I mean, the T top is out
Yes,
of it.
I understand that, but it's still the same class. And I have talked so much shit.
He can't even answer it.
Man,
Gonna have to think on it.
A couple people say they'd love to see it.
I would.
Where are we talking? Greeley? Are we talking Greeley, Colorado? At that Stampede show or whatever that fucking thing is?
I would.
Somebody, Lucas, asked him, "What show are you thinking?" And I don't see a reply yet.
I would probably do it, just to say that I've done it, that I've run a rear wheel drive compact. I don't think it would help trying to convert me over to the compact side.
Will said, my car's too hard for Greeley. So I'm going to guess probably where Will is talking, I'm going to guess like northeast Colorado. Something in that Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado corner right in there.
And I'll go ahead and answer that. Yes, I would, just because Colorado's badass. Love it out there. And that would be an excuse. I mean, it would be a terrible excuse, but it would be an excuse.
Brighton, Colorado, or another Rocky Mountain Promotions.
I'd probably get in it because I told Clayton that I would get in his car
You are fucking stupid.
if I was driving it.
You are fucking stupid.
That's all right.
Avery Hunolt says that you guys need to put GoPros in cars for media for your channel.
If he wants to donate the GoPros, I'm down with that.
I know for a fact he's got at least one because I turned the power on at Sturgeon.
I've got 2 of them.
You've got two?
I've got 2. But I don't want it to, if we don't have like 5 or 6 of them, I think it would kind of look like we were playing favorites.
Correct. I know NDCNC, they're not a sponsor, guys, nothing like that. But Jordan Tobin had an NDCNC phone holder in his car at Blizzard Bash, and it seemed like it worked phenomenal. So I don't know if I want to hand out my phone, but that might be something we can start playing with a little bit.
What is easier to make fun of? Rear wheel drive compacts or front wheel drive full size?
Rear wheel drive compact. Just because you know what class they're going to be in.
Just because it says compacts.
Yeah.
I don't hate on him. He does. But I've never been in one.
I fucking have.
And I'm not getting knocked the fuck out being in one either. I'll leave that to him.
I did look at Will's Camaro, though, and the roof's not going to collapse on that car.
No, it's not.
So.
And it looks like you might be far enough away from, because there's no B pillar on there. That's actually a C pillar. So you might be far enough away where it's not going to put you go night-night.
I would look like or I'd look like Dino off Flintstones. In a fucking car. Pull it on the track, just pop my head over the top of it.
But no, guys, I mean,
I would love to sit here and tell you that it's all in fun, but I do fucking hate compacts.
hold on. He did not hate South Dakota compacts. You didn't hate on them. Because those were no limp modes, wide open, whole show. And I know you've said it. That's the part where you hate.
Oh, yeah. They're fucking, you can see them out there. They're holding it to the floor and throwing it in gear, and it moves 3 foot, and then they do it again.
Correct. You don't have that at South Dakota.
No.
We didn't have it at Blizzard Bash either. And I don't think you're going to have it at Carnage.
I must have been getting a beer while they were running.
Will says, I'm 6'1" and 370 pounds. You'll be fine. James Fisher says you just need to hop in a compact figure 8 car.
Now, he did talk to me about that while we were in Eldon. I never got to actually.
I would turn that shit into a derby. Everybody be pissed off at me.
Terry Wood says that's what most of them do. They turn it into a derby.
Because everybody, like, somebody would be passing me, and I'd be like, nah, not today.
You see a lot of those.
Yeah.
And which I did tell James that I will come back and watch them again.
Well, I would straight up go back into NASCAR 95 on PS2. Where I'd be going the wrong way or something.
Just turn that bitch around.
Bill asked if Steven ever figured out where George is going to run.
Pecatonica, I believe. That's what seems
Which is,
to be the...
I believe that's June 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yep, and he will be wrapped in that logo when he does it.
In this one?
Yep.
This one right there?
Yep. Told him I'd pay for a spot. Next.
That's all of them right now. If I've missed any, you guys send them again, please. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. And
This has been fun. This is.
It is.
they are interacting with each other as well. I'm not reading all of those out loud, though.
So, really, our main goal for this podcast is to spotlight promoters, drivers, venues, and I'm not going to say sponsors because, parts builders. We just want everything to get brought to light, whether we're in Iowa, Nebraska, Illinois, Ohio.
Well, what I'm really enjoying that we've been doing is some of these shows that I feel are national level shows that people aren't talking about nationally.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually getting a chance to bring those up to where we think they need to be.
You know, you've got Derby Tees or DerbyNation.tv. You've got Nebraska Derby for live feeds. You've got Track Shot Live. So you've got a lot of entities that you'll be able to sit at home and watch that show. We've got so many great parts companies just pretty close to us. You know, SMS, JM Derby Products. John at NLR is not that far away. Cannonball Derby Parts is not that far away. Right here,
Justin Meyer.
for you.
Derby Parts.
This little Amish built right here. I mean, he's just 3.5 hours down the road.
Yeah, but that's those junk pointies, right?
It's some scary bumpers.
That's what it is.
The scary ones.
I'm assuming we have people like Tyler Pickens who are just joining us asking for team show updates.
No team show, bro.
No team show this year.
Will asked, what does it take to sponsor an episode?
We can. There's several different things that we can do for that. Of course, you can go straight up monetary, and I think we've been around that 150 for like 3 or 4 months worth of advertisement, and that's each episode. You get a commercial. There's other stuffs that we do work out. Like we've got some guys that we're working with right now that are going to give us discounts on some parts and stuff, so we cut them a deal so that our listeners get a deal. We've got some people that have offered us parts and stuff to raffle off or waffle, whatever.
Yeah, don't say raffle, boy. They get pissed.
Old Zuck will be on there.
Chance Ogden said, come to Utah? ?
We're coming, bro.
We'll be there.
We're coming.
We'll be there. And I'm going to bring you a couple switch boxes.
Probably, for sure, too.
Yeah.
Destructive behavior for Wasatch. And then we're going to, as long as we get it okay through Johnny again, we'll be back at the Utah State Fair. Halloween Havoc, that's still up in the air. It was a killer show. I mean, I watched it.
I did too.
But that fucking barbecue is... Oh, the barbecue that we got to eat while we were there, and this is coming from a couple fat dudes, it's the best meat I've ever had in my mouth.
That's a lie.
The best.
No. The same thing.
No, yours is the flosser.
Chance
Remember?
says he needs a switch box before you come.
Okay, I'll send you a switch box then.
So you just need to get a hold of said person with an address and some PayPal info, and you just send her on down the road.
Yep. Because we're starting to get some shit in for that. They've been out of stock.
Clayton Ransom says that you need to get Jason Heffley on here to talk about his Utah experience that he told Stephen about.
Agreed. And I'm not going to talk about that until we get him on air.
Deal.
What about truck derbies or a combine derby?
I've witnessed combine derbies.
I have to. That shit's hilarious.
And real fucking dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Back in the day, they actually used to have them in Shelbina,
Yep.
17 miles up the road.
And then Montgomery had them all the time,
Yes.
which is an hour away.
Now, I know Illinois, I think, is still doing some kind of southeast St. Louis, you know.
I just want to see an S-Series combine out there. But until I do that, I'm not going to one. I want to see a $700,000 combine
Oh, now we're talking.
with a 40-foot draper on it. Out there just getting fucking nasty.
I don't think there's no amount of insurance that would fix that.
I hit a dog.
A dog.
There was a stump in my field.
I mean, I did have a BMW got told it at work, said he hit an armadillo.
How about that dead one Stephen brought out in the road? Dale Colbert wants to know why you use the bumper logo on your cups and apparel. Why not use the mugshot design from Justin? Everyone would love to see your pretty faces.
Oh, okay, hold on, Dale. Let me move to the side.
It's there.
Throw it.
We did make some keychains too.
So there's Ugly Mugs right there. And then our graphic designer actually makes these cool little hard-nosed Derby Podcast keychains. And it's got our caricatures
Not a graphics designer.
right on the back. So they're there.
You're going to get to see it more this year anyway, because you are not the first person that's asked about that.
Yep.
You are the first person to put it on a car. I'll give you that.
I was just thinking he was just wanting targets because you notice he put them on the doors.
Yeah.
It's like, go ahead. I'm going to feed this bitch to you so you don't hit a wheel.
Yeah.
And Dale, I haven't actually got time to actually get a hold of you, but we actually are ready to come to your shop this winter before all the crazy monotonous schedule shit starts happening. So as long as Casey will allow it, we're going to get you scheduled to come your way for a little bit. So
There's been some requests for autographs. Will says that there's a combine derby at the McConaughey Massacre in May. I'm horrible at pronunciation, so I'm not even going to try to say the city that that's in.
I think that might be. Is that the Memorial Weekend one?
Casey I just seen a comment pop up from Casey.
Scroll back up just a little bit. You'll see Will's because I don't know. Agala. I'm sure that's wrong.
Well, they're skinny.
Aguila, maybe?
Well, look, everybody can see
Okay,
that.
so Lucas is telling us it's Og Al Allah.
Okay. That might. Memorial Weekend? That might be doable. We'll have to look at the schematics of that drive. And that weekend is my anniversary. But she's kind of gotten used to it. She pretty much lets me do whatever I want to do, as long as I don't leave her at home.
What's the local schedule look like for 2024?
Fuck, your guess is as good as mine.
Hold on, you're talking local as in
That's from Austin.
the shows, or local where we're gonna be?
That's a great. He didn't specify.
See a question back, Schaefer.
Okay, so Nathaniel Robbins is kind of throwing one of your questions at you. What was your number and how'd you get them?
Okay, mine's 117. Actually, if you look on my roof sign, in the one it says section. And whenever I got to running real hard and running with the group that we consider a Derby family now, we sat in section 117 at Blizzard Bash, like that was our section. Everybody knew that, like that's where we sat at. My original number was 17A, but after we got to running around here a lot, there was a lot of 17s. So I threw section 117 at it, and the rest is history. I mean, it's been like that since the first time I went to Blizzard Bash, I guess.
And I've never got to drive. Some people don't know that. I've only got to ride. I've only got to build and ride. I've never got to drive. When I was single, I used to sing in a band for several years. I built cars, announced every show possible around here pretty much, but I never could afford to actually build a car for myself. Cars weren't that much, but it's the drivetrain. I've been throwing I wanted to actually run in 23. We talked so much about the rules were completely fucked for anything that I was wanting to do. That just kind of threw it in a curveball. And then the ones that had the good rules, I was announcing them.
So I will add to that. If you were to drive, what would your number be and why?
Oh, there we go.
I've always been, anything I've ever done has been number 7. race wise. My boy was J7. I will probably be regular 7 or a D7. It's my lucky number.
Austin came back and said local shows happening around here.
Your guess is as good as mine. I haven't seen a schedule.
I haven't seen a schedule for any of it yet.
I know the derbies of the Show Me State or whatever that Facebook page is. They do have a few out, but I haven't seen anything.
The only thing that I know of is the team show in May at Salisbury.
Which is the 18th, I believe.
Yep, they've already talked about a Higbee first show.
Yeah.
Shelbina is not set in stone yet. I've been hit up about a California show, and the same people are looking at Shelbina.
Right.
Same promoters. And really, that's it. I haven't seen any Austin Johnson Southern Number 9 dates are out yet. I know his rule changes were out, and a lot of people. There were some really happy people, and there were some not so happy people. Madison, I'm not real sure. I think their first show was in June, but I haven't looked into their rules. That what somebody would like and dislike. But we talk so much. There's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of Facebook pages. You can see the rules for whatever show you're wanting to run, whatever class you're wanting to run. And it's just January, guys.
And cold as fuck.
Yeah, it's negative. Oh shit, it's warmed up at 0.
Oh, perfect.
It's 0 here.
Will said he was wrong. The Combine Derby is actually in Sidney, Nebraska, the end of July at Rumble on the Rails.
Oh.
That's when we're going to be in. That's
Somewhere.
we'll be in Heber.
I don't know. We're gonna be
Dale
somewhere.
Colbert said that she says you're welcome anytime, and he said to get Skinny on the podcast.
I've already been in touch with Skinny. Told him that we were praying for him. Seen the dude was getting a little stronger. Watched him do some stairs the other day. Thought about donating a little bit of beard to him, just so that we could,
That's kind of what this was here.
just so that we could fill that back in for him. Because that's kind of his trademark.
It is. I mean, he hadn't seen his chin in 20 plus years. Everybody knows that I made a deal with my dad of I can't shave it. The deal was during COVID, where we could FaceTime each other from the nursing home. He kind of grabbed his face like this, and he said, "Hey, I'm growing my beard out." And I said, he kind of gave me a point, and he said, "You too?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll make you a deal. You shave it, I'll shave it." He said, "Okay." Well, he was buried with it. But when you get a guy such as Skinny, everybody knows when you say Skinny, everybody knows who you're talking about. And he had the beard to, I don't know, down here,
Yeah.
another 4 or 5 inches of beard. And everybody knows the health issues that Skinny is going through right now. So, of course, his beard started falling out. I don't have to worry about it off my head. There's no hair falling off of my head. So I did a little trim last night, and my kids shit. My wife didn't shoot me, so that was kind of a positive. But we want to get Skinny. We don't want to do Skinny over the phone. We want to do Skinny in person. So
I'm waiting until he gets back home.
yes, let him build some strength. Let him build some energy. And we'll come your way. I think it's roughly 4 hours, but we'll go do a day trip for it.
Wyatt Shore says, are you all having any local shows allowing SSW rules this year?
Not this
I
year.
think it would be a great time to clear up the fact that Hard Nosed Derby Podcast does not promote derbies.
This is true. That's Filthy Promotions. And Derek has made it very clear on this podcast that he does not want to do that shit anymore. So if we come back, it will be just me and my wife.
I told the prick I would announce it. That's it.
But he's done with all the behind the scenes shit.
I'm too old to fight anymore, man. And I guess I used to let it roll off my back pretty good and not get too wound up, but I almost smoked a 60-year-old last year, and I don't want to do that. So when it's irking me
Dave will
that
hit an old
bad,
man in public. He don't care.
he was really close to getting hit,
I had to grab him. Like
and I don't like that.
That never happens, but I did that night.
Yeah, I was a little upset.
I'm not sure what this was in reference to, so they might have to fill us in, but one and done's in mind, full weld or limited?
Oh, okay.
Our favorite class?
If you're talking about what we prefer, I am a one and done. I love that shit. From a driver standpoint, from a fan standpoint, I don't want to watch the same car run 3 times. I don't want to have to drag a bunch of fucking parts. And I lean toward the limited weld side of things because it's not very much fun watching 2 dozers run into each other.
I love the street stocks, and I love the one and dones. We have talked so much. There's a certain place for heats, and there's a certain place for no
there's
heats.
places where there needs to be heats.
Correct.
There is.
But at a local show,
Not there.
fuck your heats.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them. Everybody's like,
cars.
well, it's going to drag it out farther. You know, they're going to sell more. No, they're not. You're not going to sell
because
no
by
more
the time
fucking
you
food.
Run the feature, there's nobody left.
Yep.
to
Everybody's
watch.
pissed off. Okay, so you get 10 cars that come out in the heat, and you're only going to take 4. Well, half of them are going to bag their dicks off because they don't want to work on the shit in between. So you're not going to get what the car and the driver is capable of in a heat setting unless it needs to be. Local shows, no. Just let them get it the fuck on.
Yep.
Let them drive the way they want to. And then all said and done.
Cy said he's going to cry if you guys don't give him a shout out.
What up, Cy?
Clayton Ransom asked if you're both going to be at Gold Rush 2024.
Yes.
Oh, no, I'll be there.
Yes. Everybody knows I got COVID, and he was the only one to go. My wife was an editor. She got it as well. We didn't want to take that chance of getting anybody sick.
And all bullshit aside, he's got to fucking go because that shit sucked doing this stuff by myself.
He's never had to do it by himself.
I sure as fuck had to do that
With
again.
his schedule, there's times, and I don't think it's been that many times, 4 or 5 times, probably in a year and a half, where we've actually had to do a podcast without him. It's different, you know, when it's.
Lucas sent, is it Stone King? Sent a beer for Skinny, and Skinny says, love y'all, and it means a lot. # brothers.
That's right, bro. Like I said, when we get when you get good enough where you think you can handle us for a day, we will make that happen. We'll take off on Saturday morning, drive over. We'll go get some of that kick-ass barbecue or that Mexican that you're always Snapchatting on
Oh, yeah.
for afterwards, and hang with you for a while.
And Billy Bob says you guys are the best Derby podcast.
Appreciate that, dude.
We don't have to be the best, just we want everybody to know who we are.
You guys don't even understand how humble we are when these little cell phones here, you're getting Snapchats and messengers from Spotify that we're their top played
Yeah.
for that year.
We went through that shit a little bit last week, and it was crazy that there was over 300 people that we were the top listened to podcast.
With the podcasts that are out there now.
Right. Well, and everybody listens to podcasts anymore.
Yes. Yes.
It's crazy. You see so many people that are like, hey, did you happen to catch, so-and-so's podcast? And I'm like, man, I don't fucking listen to podcasts.
Well, I listen to Old Bud's podcast every Friday on the way home. Twisted Tea and Wild Skiles, I support them. They support us. So if it's just one more listen, that'll help their numbers on. I'm taking my 48-mile trek home every day from work. They're
It'd take me a week to get an episode to listen to.
yeah,
If I just listen to it going to work.
yeah, you'd be in trouble. Even there and back.
Yeah.
Was it 12 miles? 12 minutes?
Maybe.
Fuck off.
And Cy says he will be at Gold Rush as well.
I think.
Motherfucker gonna drive this time.
My fat ass is flying, boys.
I hope I'm taking a car.
Well, you can take a car, but I'm flying.
Just send it with Dale.
I have. I've already made that corporate decision that I'm driving my ass to St. Louis, and I'm flying to Rapid City, South Dakota. Derek Court hasn't been told yet, but I'm gonna have him pick me the fuck up at the airport, and then take me to the hotel. I plan on going on Wednesday, so I think it's 6 hours. I think we've got a layover in Denver. But yes, we are all going and all going to partake. I will make sure somebody doesn't launch something from Club Altitude.
Quit it. Shit happened one time.
Lucas said, keep on keeping on, fellas. I appreciate you guys. And he has sent lots of stars. I'm not real sure what those are for yet, but he sent a bunch of them.
So stars are actually money, which we did announce a few weeks ago. Once we got over that, I think it was that 2,000 follower kick. Hey, give me one of them. Oh, where are they?
I'm right beside you.
I want a beer.
And before you forget what you were talking about, Derek Court says, laugh my ass off. Guess I'll have to go now.
Yeah, motherfucker, you were going to go anyways. I don't want to hear that. Because that tells you about the people in this sport.
Well, I don't want Court picking me up. I want J-Dub to pick me up, because that dude, he will have you there in a matter of seconds. Because I rode with him to Deadwood, and that motherfucker drives.
Will Steinbeck says, with promoting, driving, building, and just being a part of the Derby world, how hard is it to leave personal feelings aside and give credit where credit is due?
For me, it's a motherfucker. I have learned to deal with it because there was a promoter around here. Everybody knows how I felt about his rules. He knows how I felt about his rules. But he had some decent shows. I gave him the credit he needed. But it hurt a little bit. The promoting side of things, whenever we were putting shows on, as far as trying to give people special treatment, it did not bother me too bad not doing that, because I had such a good team on the tech side. A lot of times they would call me for a decision to be made, and they would not tell me who it was. So it took all the biased bullshit out of it.
Yep, I remember hearing that on the radio a lot. Somebody would ask you a question, you would ask, who is it? And they would say, it doesn't matter, I just need an answer.
And I'd be like, all right, well.
That's why I wanted to get out of promoting. I wanted to try to put as much of my effort into this as
we were putting into.
Correct. There was too many avenues split and made time really hard.
Well, it was a full-time job. And
Yes.
That's what, whenever we were putting on 7 shows, that turned into a full-time job.
Even when I was playing music, when I decided I was going to be done, my daughter knew no different. She knew I was gone every weekend or every other weekend, one night or both nights. She had a babysitter until she got to where she was about 4. It was time. I said, I got to be done. We got to start working on family stuff. So I did the family thing. I mean, still doing the family thing. But I have learned to not try to be pulled so many ways. Concentration goes on here. It's not going on music. It's not going on promoting. It's going on right here.
And that's where I was torn at too, because hell, there were several derbies that we put on that I took my camper to. And while we were putting on the derby or building the track or whatever, my kids were with a babysitter in the camper at the show. Like, people don't know that shit.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that. the drivers that were coming up and telling me how big of a cocksucker I was didn't realize that I was paying, somebody $100 a day or $100 an evening to watch my kids in this camper that I was paying for a camping spot for, and trying to run back there because they didn't give a fuck about that. They just cared that the show went smooth, and that's what I was trying to do. And it's overwhelming. There's a hard line to separate shit there, and you got to watch because it'll get fuzzy.
And, it's just that point. You've just got to be able to separate it. So that's what we did.
And we stopped promoting because I didn't want to lose any friends either.
That is the hard part. When you got, I'm going to say this. I'm 40, how the fuck old am I? I'm 47?
Older than me, motherfucker.
Okay. I'm 47, so roughly I've been in the sport of some capacity since I was 18, 19. When I started helping CJ Barnes, that introduced me to so many more people because it wasn't just your local guys that you were hanging out with, all the time, and local stuff. Now you're talking big show, you're talking Blizzard Bash, you're talking Capital Carnage, and I've met some great people because of him. I fuck with him all the time, but Cordell Hansen is one of my favorite guys in the world because Cordell is just so fucking down to earth. He'll tell you if something needs told to you, he's going to tell you. But he'll be the first one to drop whatever he wants, whatever he has going, and to help you. Kyle Pudwater was the same way. Chad Rhodes. There's just so many people that I have got drawn to because of certain people in the sport, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that said that. Look at this sport. I mean, it's drawn us to Casey Johnson. I mean, it's drawn us to PJ and Phil Snore.
And these are people that I consider friends now.
Correct. Alan, Dalen, Cody Brown, George Turpin, Twisted Tea, Derek Court, Cody Pete. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of what we had to what we have now.
Well, like the other day, I had an hour-long conversation with Will Steinbeck over the phone, and like I didn't know the guy until we went out. I mean, I knew who he was, but I didn't know him until we went to Utah. And what?
Speaking of Papaw Phil.
So Phil Snarr says, I was supposed to get a pan of cinnamon rolls at South Dakota, but Derek chicken shit out. I will take the blame for that one. I was way too sick to make cinnamon rolls at that time, so I apologize.
Hold on.
Pick it up, I promise.
Papaw Phil, you were given the recipe for said cinnamon rolls, and the wife was supposed to make you cinnamon rolls for that trip off of my wife's recipe. So you should have got cinnamon rolls. So if you didn't get cinnamon rolls, that is the wife's fault, not my wife's fault. But I promise, this South Dakota trip will be multiple pans.
Hold on. Nobody told me that he was supposed to get cinnamon rolls. Had they said that, I would have brought Phil a walking pancake. First thing.
Cody Pete says he cannot wait to see you all in Adele, and Steven better come this year.
I might not come, but I'll be breathing hard.
I'll be there.
Nathaniel Rabin says to lighten it up, who's y'all's favorite street outlaw?
Oh man, I finally started watching that show again since they have went back to actual
street cars.
I don't know.
I'm torn. I've watched every season. I didn't really watch this season at all. Sean Ellington, Murder Nova, is probably, I'm going to guess, one of the most down-to-earth dudes there is. Ryan Martin. I enjoy Ryan.
Oh, man, I kind of like Kai's cockiness.
Yeah. Kai's an arrogant little fucker.
Yeah.
But he backs it up, too. I mean, and I think it really has something to do if you like guys that run blowers or turbos or nitrous. I mean, we've got a good friend, Jake Schaefer.
Yeah.
You know, his, whew,
That blown marrow was fucking
Yeah.
bad.
Blake Neely,
Yeah.
you know. So there's guys in the Derby world that do that shit too. So
Not me because I can't afford the fucking turkey.
that is correct.
And that question opened up some more. Billy Bob says, who's your favorite upper Midwest driver? And Clayton Ransom wants to know who your favorite West Coast driver is.
Man, it's so hard to pick favorites on this shit. Because there's several people that I really like to watch run. You know, like PJ. I like watching the fuck out of that dude run.
But hold on, now we're going north.
I
So
know.
now I'm guessing they're talking Minnesota, northern Iowa, Wisconsin, or even North or South Dakota.
So now we're
I like Torrey Hyde. I like
Yeah.
watching Torrey Hyde.
Yeah.
David Earl. John
Yeah.
Muse. I mean,
everybody's on his dick about bagging, but you all let him do it.
twice. But I've seen him not. I've seen him, what he did in the last 15 seconds of that show, I've seen him do the whole fucking show.
Yes.
I mean, we always say that if you've got a problem with somebody bagging, fucking do
Make
something
him
about
stop.
it.
Make him
Yes.
fucking stop.
And if you don't do that, well, sorry about you. One of my favorite West Coast guys, I truthfully think, I like watching Derek Shelley. I really like CJ McPhee, Brad Bowman. I mean, there's so many West Coast guys that it's hard to say who's
You
my
know who
favorite.
I'm talking about. I like Marty.
Yeah, Mart. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
but he's running stuff that I, like that I'm a
That's
fan
close to your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he drives the fucking balls off of him.
That he does. He'll sneak that bitch from fucking front to back. He don't give two shits.
Yep.
Lucas sent more stars.
And we appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
I think it was back when you asked for a beer, Derek, and he said the next one's on me. He sent more again and said, can't forget Steven.
Well, we can't show what we're actually drinking because we don't want any
Yeah, but if
copyright
you drink
infringements.
beer, like like you know.
Something about
champagne.
champagne,
Yeah. Living that high life, whatever.
little Nemo insulation action.
Matinees. Yeah.
Canyon Stapley says, are you guys coming to Destructive Behavior Derby in Utah?
Yeah.
Yes, that is Heber. That is the
We'll
plan.
be there.
There was talk of maybe somebody
Driving.
out there. I don't know how far that has gone into talks.
It's getting there. And still on the fence of whether I'm going to drive their stuff or whether I'm going to take my own.
You can drive your own. My ass is flying, bro.
Well, I have somebody else that's going to go with me that he can drag the cars out.
He's got a big enough trailer, too.
And I will clean his fucking driveway off.
Keep it at the driveway.
And his old lady.
Jake Schaefer says, come along anytime. Street Outlaw Special on the podcast.
See, I'm a fan of motorsports. So is he.
I just like horsepower.
So I'd get these Snapchats,
Oh, shit. Jeremy Petty's here.
cash days, in St. Louis and shit. And I'm like, hey, Jake, why don't you give a motherfucker a heads up? And I mean, we'd like to go watch. So right when I was trying to get that a little bit more solidified, he goes and sells one, and now he's got Smokey. So Jake, let us know. I want to go. I want to go and watch.
Canyon asked what class?
Wire class. Unless I take my own, then it'll be a weld class.
And if it's a wired car,
I'm sorry for your setup.
it'll be somebody else's setup,
Yep.
which I don't think you've got to worry about that hurting. It's a good setup, especially for a wide car, because he might give you his good. What would you do with a fucking 440?
Oh.
Wyatt Shores asked if you guys are going to Midwest Massacre.
Yes,
Yep. We'll be there.
Pecatonica. I haven't figured out living arrangements yet.
I've got it in my cart. All I gotta do is hit the button. There's a bone stock spot that's still open over there.
Canyon said old iron wire. That class is going to be fun.
Well, if it's that class, if that's the only wire class, that's what it'll be in. Boy, that's going to be an expensive son of a bitch.
Jake Schaefer says, working on it right now. It will be ready soon.
Smoky.
Callie Ann, confirmation for the Chaos 2-day show.
There we go. Oh, I'm going to try to be there. It won't be all four of us because there's conflicting dates there. So that might be where we...
Because I'm going to Border Wars,
Yep.
and that's the same weekend as...
And I might just keep heading north.
Yep, he'll just keep on rolling.
Dylan says, thoughts on MWFA class and how big of an impact it will have on getting more new drivers and better opportunity to get into the driver's seat.
MWFA class is something that has really taken off, and I mean it's not just Pennsylvania area, you know, where it started. I mean it's nationwide. That, to my knowledge, is the only unified rule class in the country. It is what we would call a bone stock, but it's anything. I mean there's no wheelbase limits. For men to max, except, you know, no hearses, no limos, any of that stuff. But when you're going, you can have a 96 Lincoln, you can have a 07 Caravan, and you can have a 11 Crown Vic. Can all be at the on the track at one time, and that I enjoy it. Trying to watch 118 of them on the track at once.
The shit was wild.
Made it a little rough to watch, but I don't
That's
think...
something that whenever they get the bugs worked out of it, you're going to see something cool shit.
And I think anybody who's taking these on, and if I was going to guess in probably 2 years, every promoter that's going to take on that MWFA class will be 50, 60 cars at every show. I mean, it's a quick build.
It's consistency. We've talked so much about that. People love consistency.
Ryan Davis says, who is y'all's early pick to win the Limited World Compact Team at Spring Explosion?
You probably don't even want to chime in on this.
That's a very question.
It's gonna come down to two. I think. I really do. If I had
compacts
that they are. If I had to put money on it, I think it will be WFO again.
Is anybody else hungry? I'm going to go grab some.
A2S is going to be stout too with the Chad Hurds team. You know, Chad's won everything under the sun, and then you've got a class of Clayton Fernandez, his team. So you've got three teams that run together during normal fair shows, so they know how each other drive. They're all buddies. They're all friends.
Before you get out there and decide to run with Clayton, you realize we had to edit the shit out of that podcast.
We didn't have to edit that much. We don't edit that much.
Ryan, who asked that question, said that question was just for Steven.
I'm actually trying to get him to talk into running that class on Monday.
Taylor wouldn't go for it, though.
No, he was out on that. But I'm trying. I won't ever give up.
Canyon said that that is a Mopar dominant class. Jake Schaefer said, check your Snapchat. Alicia Adams says, do you all have a list of all the shows you plan to go to? Do you have any people or cars you will be sponsoring this year? And at which shows will they be running?
Oh, she should have been listening. We've talked about a bunch of that.
The first show...
Or maybe she's just trying to figure out where the fuck she's going to be at this summer.
Correct. Very well could be.
Yeah, how many times have I asked for a schedule?
You have it.
I do now.
I am the wrong person to ask that shit. Because Derek would be like, hey, we've got to be at that derby this weekend. I'm like, oh, yeah, all right.
Which state? Are we flying? No, we're driving. The first team that we sponsored for the year is Casey Johnson and Marty Million
Yep.
for Hurricane Utah. The first show that we will go to, I've been in talks. Capital Carnage is up in the air.
Yeah, I know. I got asked too.
But for sure, set in stone, Cornhusker Chaos in Kearney, Nebraska will be the first show that we're actually going to go to.
I'm gonna give you a little fun fact on that.
Fun fact.
Anniversary weekend,
Oh, shit. You got married in April?
April 6th.
Fuck.
You were there, motherfucker.
I know I was there. Fucking, but just don't mean I remember it. Hey, I got to remember mine. There's another team at Spring X that we did sponsor.
Yep.
Clayton
And don't forget about Twisted Tea.
It's a compact team.
Yeah. I only gave them half the money though.
There might be another one on Spring X as well. I've kind of got to wait till they get back from a cruise.
Right.
Fucking assholes. Our April is crazy. We've talked about that on several episodes. There's so much stuff going on in April. We kind of chose to stay close and not do any flights for that month. Now, I'm not saying May, June, July, and August we won't be flying somewhere, but this one is going to be kind of stay close to home.
Skinny replied to the question about the MWFA class, and he said coast to coast, border to border class.
It
I
is.
love it.
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
Cody Pete says, what's some advice you guys can give about approaching sponsors? How much overlap should you have?
Cody and I have actually talked. We're actually sponsoring some stuff at Border Wars. We're sponsoring the winner for the youth class. That's going to go to Frankie Guy Youth Nationals. And then we're going to sponsor the overall Mad Dog for the Border Wars class. Thanks to Justin Broadhead, the Mad Dog and the youth class winner, we'll have new roof signs and wraps. Hopefully the kid, whoever wins it, he'll have brand new shit to go to Dunbar, Pennsylvania with. Make his ride look fly. Man, sponsors, I really never had any, even in the racing side. So
I have dealt more with the sponsor stuff. I learned that it's easier to get told no than not to ask.
word. Worst comes to worst, that's the only fucking thing they're going to say is no.
I have had a lot of people that I have approached about the sponsorship stuff, and I always give them options.
Levels.
Not even so much levels, because on the promoter side of things, anything you can get helps out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know just as well as I do, every drop of sponsorship money that we got when we were promoting, I pushed toward payouts.
Mm-hmm.
We always tried to soften the blow on the drivers. So my big deal, and any advice that I would ever give anybody, is ask. Just talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Send the best person, or send a person that is good at talking in to talk to them.
Selling.
Yep. Because the worst thing you can do, in my opinion, and you're going to get rejected almost every time, is go in strong. Like they owe you something.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do that.
I mean, what you're doing is you're selling their product for them.
Yes. You've got to tell them how you can be beneficial to them. If not, they're just throwing money away.
You want your waterbed photo and banner around a derby track where,
Right.
Especially on a pay-per-view side of it, or a free 99 or a Nebraska live feed, that their sponsorship info will be going across that TV screen or will be invisible screen
And we
around the
always
track.
gave them way more tickets than they could ever deal with.
Oh, yeah.
That was always my big selling point. Like, hey, you want to give us $150? I'll give you fucking 40 tickets.
In that simple fact of those 40 people, 30 of them, if they use them, are going to buy food, soda, beer, candy for the kids, whatever.
Parts, whatever. They'll be supporting your event.
Yes.
So, because I have never in my life been concerned about a ticket sale. Ever. You can't.
No.
If you do, you'll be a nervous wreck the whole time. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox on that one.
Sai asked, what are your goals for 2024 with the podcast?
He doesn't have goals.
Keep growing.
He doesn't have goals. He's already said that.
FBGM? Something like
On my end, when you have a certain amount of listeners every week through our podcast launch platform, they start putting ads in it. And when they start putting ads in it, not our commercials, when they start putting corporate ads in there, that's when you start getting money back. So what that will do is when we make it and you guys make it to where we want it, there's going to be money coming back to us, but that in turn will be put into hotels. That'll be turned into fuel, plane tickets. Where, you know, when
cold
we go.
beer.
Why you always got to bring up beer, bro?
I like cold beer.
But if it costs us $1,000 per couple to go to Utah, and if we can use kickbacks for said ads that they have placed in our podcast, well, that will help soften the blow of the expenses.
Austin Schaefer has suggested a chug race, and it looks like several people are in favor of that.
It's been a minute since I've done that, especially with a bottle.
Okay.
All right, fuck it. Got enough?
All right. In the comments, guys, who do you think's going to win this chug race?
No tornadoes.
Oh,
I knew that's what somebody was going to do, too.
he's going to suck his down. Man.
No
I've watched him do
tornadoes.
this shit before.
Not out of a bottle, though.
Luann, thank you so much for sharing in Maine.
Ooh.
Maine, that's not a state that usually comes across our
Send me a lobster or something.
Our
So
Rolodex.
far, everybody's saying that Steven's going to win.
Do I sandbags? Like, see, I feel like that's how we make money.
Yeah,
I
bottles
don't
are
know if you guys have ever seen Derek chug a beer before, but
bottles
The
are
fucking
different.
dude can drink.
Bottles are different.
They don't realize that he knows how to drink.
Well,
Cheers.
cheers, homie. You lose, bitches.
Wait a second.
It's all head. See?
Avery said that Derek should have got a head start to make it fair, but I think that came through before.
Now, if it's in a can, he'll beat me.
I will fuck you all the way up.
If we're shotgunning a can, he will beat me every time.
He knows how to relax the throat.
Everybody was wrong.
He's gonna cup the balls.
Cup the balls.
Hey, you all say that he's never checked. I've watched the motherfucker do it.
But I don't
mean,
usually do it in public,
I
though.
don't care. I knew how it was gonna play out.
Greg Neal says, have you guys ever considered having a sort of roundtable discussion with the head of each promotion discussing what could be done to get everyone closer in rule set, or is that just a pipe dream?
Can I take this?
Go ahead.
We would need security.
Correct.
We were doing that in the ring.
We have actually talked about it where we would call maybe a debate session. If we can get 2 or 3 different promoters down here and let them hash it out, because what we have talked about for a year, anything in the state of Missouri is a fucking dick swinging contest or a pissing match. And they would, if they would realize, if they get on board with each other, their shows will be better across the fucking board. There's not, we've understand, there is that point when it's a fair board deciding when the show is. That's one thing. because a lot of guys have no control over when that show is. But you can damn sure control what rules are ran at that show.
You're motherfucking right.
So if you have a show on June 5th and another promoter has got a show on June 12th, but those fucking rules aren't close to each other, then you're just pissing in the wind. Somebody's going to get butthurt. Well, this show had 34 cars. This show had 70 cars. But if they would realize if they just make it level to the rules, they're not fighting against each other. So if we got 3 promoters down here, or at least just 2 promoters down here in this area, we'd have to call in the fucking National Guard, I think.
We would need a window between you guys.
Either that or kick the shit out of both of them.
Avery says he missed the chug. You should do it again.
If we do it again, it's going with cans.
Clayton Ransom said, I guess I will bring some beer to Hebrew to watch you guys chug. And Cy said that he would beat you both in shotgunning a beer.
Yeah, because that motherfucker will eat the can.
It's different on a bottle. If you can tornado it, that's one thing. But
Yeah, that's what I was about to do to your ass.
I knew that's what I was looking for, the twist.
You said no.
Cindy Furlong says the same rules and they could run more shows. Which
These are facts.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. And if they would just learn.
Why do you think we always bumped our rules below everybody else's? Because then all we had to do was go home, add a little bit, go to the next show.
Yes. And then hopefully after 2 or 3 shows, your car is going to be fucked anyways. Especially on a stock.
Or you were at a street stock.
Big deal. Okay, I'll pull it down and I'll add 2 plates to it.
There you go.
But you just can't get the rest of them to get on board with it, and that's the shitty part.
Everybody's scared of thick cases and bumpers and fucking wheel centers and dumb shit. And I don't know.
Them scary bumpers.
The longer we go with this, the worse it's going to get.
And no, we're not chugging no more.
you're probably about out looking at the empties on the table over there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's 3 left.
That's what it about takes, about a 12-pack of podcast.
We've been slacking the last few weeks. About the last month. We had been slacking. But, guys, in 2024, if we're not waiting on any other questions, we're going to try to make this as big as we can possibly make it. We have already started the year off with Taylor Feldkamp from Derby Icons, talking about Spring X and Metal Mayhem. We've got some other promoters that are in the works as well that we're going to be having on, not even counting our drivers.
And one thing that I want everybody to realize, that we're not in this to make a bunch of money off of it, because you hear that shit all the time. Oh, they're just, they're making this or making that. We have already spent more in sponsorship shit this year than what we'll make, and you can almost take that to the bank.
Yeah. Because what people don't realize, these little things that we don't have in gold anymore, and then Tanya's got one back behind her. These were $600.
Right, and that's not counting the board that we've got.
Correct, and that wasn't anything
buying
from
other shit.
that wasn't anything from sponsorship. That was out of pocket money. So anything helps. We got people sending us stars, which they can send us stars.
That's
we don't
cool
even
shit.
we don't even have to be live. You can actually just go on our Facebook page and
But as
send
soon
us
as
stars.
this went over, we will do this again.
Correct. It might be a couple months down the road.
Yeah. And I know that everybody's been wanting to see more videos of us doing this shit anyway. Which, with the little setup we've got here, we might be able to do some more of that.
where we don't have to go live. We can just do the video part of it. Yeah.
Our YouTube listeners are the ones that are asking for that.
Yes. And usually when you see us, you don't want to see faces.
Unless you're a woman, then I get it. 100%. It is what it is.
Shit's getting deep. Just telling y'all.
Said, backing up just a little bit, Avery said, sadly, if you have the same rules or not, between different promotions, there will still be favoritism.
There will always be favoritism. There will
Well, yeah, but
always
see-
be that discrepancy of one tech looking at it compared to another promoter's tech looking at it.
Right, and if Avery was a more of a likable person, he might be on the receiving end of that stuff.
Sai replied to that and said, "Are you mad because no one likes you?"
See, so I was already ahead.
No, we love Avery. I've known Avery since he was a little kid.
Um,
That just tells you how fucking old I am.
Dale asked Justin Broadhead if he can remake the sign because the mirrored image is bugging him. I didn't look. I'm sitting here looking at it and didn't even realize it was backwards. So
Well,
I'm sure there's a setting I can change for when we go live.
there is.
My bad, guys.
Oh yeah,
I
because
knew it too.
we could spin it
Yeah.
around. Yeah, but this is our first live, guys, like this. So, give
Yeah,
us.
because I'm actually sitting on that side.
Jeremy Baker, derbies make a cycle. Promoters let drivers add for a few years, then cut the rules way back. And we have a reset. When that happens, the rules between promoters get closer again for a little while.
It's every 5 years. We've watched the cycle happen 3 to 5 years.
And Jeremy was smart.
Because he got the fuck
He
out.
got the fuck out. He went fishing and camping and shit, which we were going to do that on the promotion side, but we didn't because we're stupid.
No, we just started this.
We're stupid. We didn't go buy campers. I'm not buying a fucking fishing boat. I've had 10 of them. I'm not buying another one.
That's not something your wife would do with you anyway.
Correct. But Jeremy understands. Jeremy has seen the progression when, go from running and driving to promoting to getting the fuck out. Jeremy did the smart thing. I see Jeremy's back on Facebook, and I see he's getting in waffles and of motors and cars and all sorts of shit. So, I don't know if that's for Tucker to start running with Lane, or Jeremy's going to get back in the saddle again. I don't know that part. So maybe we can get some heads up on that a little bit farther down the road.
Austin Schaefer suggested we do a hard nose apparel and koozie waffle. Maybe that's something we can put a package together for.
The only thing we've ever done was
Drake's virginity.
I'm still a virgin.
I know. Nobody got it on the raffle.
The first one we did was, I think, when we had 500 followers. Mr. Andrew Smith won that. It was a trivia question that he got. We did one at 2,000.
Those were giveaways, though, and his suggestion.
Correct. We could try to waffle something.
Maybe a hard-nosed slider or something. I've got an extra one.
But we'll work on something, Austin.
Freeway Timbrook says it was good to see Hard Nose at the Figure 8 in Eldon.
That was you.
Clayton Ransom says, keep doing these, I love them. Dale told Justin to make a sign that he'll pay for it.
As bad as I hate to say it, we probably ought to wrap this shit up.
Yep.
We appreciate everybody's involvement in this.
This will actually launch
Thursday.
Thursday morning, 5 o'clock on your normal, where you normally listen to us, whether it's Amazon Music or Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Play, or Apple Music, any of that stuff. I like Austin's deal. I think we can kind of get something together, and do some sort. But I like your idea of the hard nose slider drive shaft too. So, thank you guys for getting on with us. Like I said, this is something that we have never done. This is our first one. So,
And I'm kind of camera shy.
are you
I am.
kind of camera shy? So, guys, thank you all so much for joining in with us. Thank you for your questions. Got any last words, homie?
I am.
Oh, you chugged it in my face. He's chugging in my face. Look at him. Make junk, boys. This episode is brought to you by Broadhead Decals. From door wraps and roof signs, window stickers and banners, let Broadhead Decals take care of all your vinyl needs with only quality products used.
Justin's graphic design abilities will get you everything you could ever want. With super fast shipping, their turnaround time is second to none. So let Broadhead Decals take you to the next level.